Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wasteland Radio podcast, episode number 4. I'm still working on it. I am joined here with a very, very special guest tonight. I have LittleshyFIM.
Hey everyone.
Yep, he's. You may know him for doing the Cinema Sins on YouTube.
Yep. I'm sorry, I'm half asleep today. Haven't been sleeping well.
That's fine. I know how you feel. All right, so I'm gonna dive into some of these questions, and we'll see what happens.
Let's do it.
All right. So my first question to you is, how did you find and get involved in this particular fandom?
Yeah, just dumb luck, I guess. Curiosity. Came across a few videos on YouTube with ponies in them, and I kind of viewed it at first as just another internet meme that I was curious about. But once I dug deeper, saw some of the show, engaged with the fandom more, I soon learned it was more than just an internet meme, and it was a very vibrant and friendly community I wanted to be a part of.
Nice, nice. When did you start? When did you initially join this fandom?
I believe I first joined. When was it? I think it was end of 2012, or was it actually 2011? I don't even remember now. Actually, I'm going to my own channel right now to see when I made that to check. Derp, 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 derp. Oh wow, yeah, it was towards the end of 2011 I joined the fandom, and I made my channel January 2012. So yeah, I've been around a while.
Wow. Okay. So, what was your initial reaction when you first heard about a group of men that like ponies?
Yeah, I mean, some people come into it thinking it's weird and instantly criticizing it and thinking poorly of it, but I really never went through that phase. For me, it was just kind of a wholesome, fun thing that just seemed silly. The sort of internet meme thing that I was interested in, and I don't know, the show was well animated, entertaining, and the community was super friendly. That's really what hooked me in the beginning, was just how welcoming and friendly everyone was. But yeah, I didn't really think of it as being weird ever.
So, and what are your thoughts on it now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's pretty much the same. It has certainly grown and evolved over time, but yeah, I'm certainly still very positive, and I have a lot of faith in the fandom, I guess you could say.
Nice. So, about the show, what are your thoughts on it back when it was just season 1 and 2, and what are your thoughts on it now?
I joined I started watching the show live about midway through season 2, and I mean, I don't know. I think probably the biggest change is the improvement in animation and overall production value seems to have increased. They certainly take themselves more seriously now, I think, the writers, animators, and all that. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. I think it certainly has a lot of pros and cons. But yeah, in general, I'm still very happy to be a part of this fandom and still loving the show.
Nice. So how did you create the name LittleshyFIM?
Yeah, it was literally the first thing that popped in my head. I never imagined more than a few people would even know me by that name. I actually joined a forum and I needed a random name to come up with, so I combined the My Little Pony with Fluttershy, and then I added FIM at the end. Friendship is magic, just in case Littleshy was already taken.
All right. So how did you create a name for yourself?
Well, I mean, that certainly was never intentional. I had a previous interest in video making in general. And I mean, it just kind of made sense after joining the fandom to make a new channel and make some pony-related videos, and it just kind of sort of took off from there. Of course, the big thing was Cinema Sins, which of course is inspired by Cinema Sins, and I made a couple of those, and that really seemed to take off. That was where my channel, that's where, if you imagine a YouTube channel is like a rocket ship, that's where it blasted off and just went for the sky. It was, I only planned to make 1 or 2 Cinema Sins videos, but after seeing so much popularity and support for them, I'm obviously still make them to this day.
Nice. So, do you have a favorite pony?
Yes, I suppose the long-standing favorite pony of mine would be Derpy. I can't pick between the main 6, so she's the easy answer.
Alright. That's a good choice. Do you have a favorite episode?
It's really difficult to pick a favorite, but if I had to choose, I suppose Canterlot Wedding, just because that one completely took me by surprise when I first saw it, and it was probably probably the favorite episode I saw live. I've been watching all the episodes live ever since joining the fandom, but I don't know, something about Canterlot Wedding seemed like the biggest, most epic, and biggest surprise. The twist ending and all that.
Okay, nice choice. Has there been anything in this particular fandom that has wowed you in any way?
Just so many things. I mean, the fandom's super creative and it makes a whole bunch of content. Of course, I'm more on the YouTube side of things, so I see a lot of the videos, animations, that sort of stuff. I guess, I mean, that's a really difficult one to answer, but I guess it would be the general friendliness of the community and the super talented stuff that it produces.
Hmm. So, besides ponies, what else do you like to do? Do you have a current job?
Not at the moment. I do have a couple other smaller hobbies, such as I used to do some geocaching, working on computers. Recently, Pokemon. I mean, everyone was playing Pokemon there for a while. It's probably dying out now, but just general computer geek stuff. Nothing quite compares to ponies, of course, because my room is just full of pony collectibles and toys and all that.
All right. So, how did you get into video editing with ponies and other things?
Yeah, I used to make videos, just silly videos when I was a child with neighborhood friends and alike, and we'd just run around with prop guns, and I'd add the muzzle flashes in post, and we did some lightsaber battles, which I spent days masking out, and those sort of videos that incorporated a lot of special effects. I was heavily inspired by Freddie W. and Corridor Digital, those sort of YouTube channels, and then of course after Pony, it kind of evolved into from making silly videos that no one will ever watch to making more mainstream YouTube audience related videos, like series like Cinema Sins and those sort of videos where they're a little bit longer and more, have higher production value, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, the origin was just me picking up a camera as a kid and having fun with it, really.
Oh, all right. So what kind of programs do you use for making your videos, and do you have any recommendations for other people?
I'm practically an evangelist for HitFilm. I've been using it's an editor, a little bit like After Effects, I guess. If you don't know about it, you can make the comparison. But I've been using HitFilm since before it was even called that. I started with something called Vision Lab Studio, which is made by the same creators of HitFilm. And because I was a previous customer, they let me upgrade to HitFilm for a little bit cheaper. And we're currently on HitFilm 4, and I've just been upgrading ever since they come out with new ones. And I use that for pretty much everything, aside from audio editing and the occasional flash animation. Everything I do is inside HitFilm, which is an editor and compositor, for those who know what that means.
Okay. So this one's for some of your other videos besides Cinema Sims, your ponies in real life videos. Would you like to elaborate on how those started and how they're made?
Yeah, actually, the Pony in Real Life videos were kind of my origin with my current YouTube channel. After I made the YouTube channel, that just seemed to be the best fit because it incorporated live action with ponies. There was a period of time where I was really confused. I mean, how do I take this previous interest of recording videos and somehow mash ponies into it? And it just seemed to make sense to incorporate cartoon characters in real life. And that's something I don't do very often, but whenever I do, it's always the most fun project to work on, just because I feel like I'm going back to my roots with that, and also because the video editing is a certain type of challenge that's both challenging, of course, but also fun to overcome because it's something I know I can do, but it takes a lot of time to figure out all the little details like motion tracking and shading, and animation, of course, is a tough one for me. But yeah, they're a lot of fun to make.
Nice. So, how did Cinema Sin start out?
Yeah, again, it's just a very simple matter of an interest in cinema sins, and I thought, hey, this should be ponified. And I mean, whenever someone asks me this question, I feel like I should mention I wasn't the first to actually do it. I believe Buck Brony, or I think that's his name. I believe he was the first to make not Cinemare, but Pony Sins videos. And then I kind of added the name Cinemare Sins, and been making a whole bunch of them. Turned it into a series that been going on for a couple of years now, I think. But yeah, it was just a simple matter of an interest in cinema sins, really.
Nice. As a content creator, you must get a lot of comments, whether they're good or bad. Do you have any advice on how to take like that constructive criticism, whether it's good, bad, or neutral?
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice and experience to kind of differentiate between just trolling and hate comments that don't even deserve your attention, and legitimate criticism, people with questions and things that are worth addressing. I mean, it can be fun to convert a troll or whatever, a hater or whatever, and kind of make them see the light of how great this fandom is and all that, but 90% of the time, they're not interested in the least bit, and generally, the answer is just ignore them. Don't feed the parasprites is a popular phrase I like a lot.
Alright. So as a person, do you play a lot of video games? Do you have any particular favorite video games or system?
Surprisingly, no. I'm like, I mean, it's kind of weird. I spend a lot of time on the computer. I should be a gamer, but I don't think I can really call myself that just because it's not something I do a whole lot. I'll binge play a game. Like, I love Fallout 4. I got that, played dozens of hours of that, and then I'll just probably never play it again. That's kind of a trend I have with video games. Whenever a really cool one I'm interested in comes out, I'll play it a bunch and then never play it again. Not for any particular reason, but yeah, I'm not really a gamer, but I would call myself, if I had to, a PC gamer. I played, Call of Duty on Xbox 360 a while ago, but now it's 100% PC.
All right. Are you into any Japanese anime?
No, afraid not. It's something. I mean, it probably would interest me. I just haven't really jumped into it head first, as I would probably require myself to in order to get into it. I've seen Attack on Titan, but that's about it.
They just made a video game of it.
Oh yeah. I think I saw a screenshot or something of that. I should probably look that up.
It's pretty fun. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
How about TV? Do you watch any TV shows, like any The Walking Dead or The Preacher or anything like that?
I haven't had cable television in over a decade. My family just has always avoided that, but thankfully I do have pretty fast internet, so I'm no stranger to Netflix and the like. I don't know. It's kind of the same answer with games. I'll binge watch a show and then totally forget about it. I guess among my favorites would be the likes of Breaking Bad, and I'm currently on House of Cards. Stuff like that.
All right. So, what was it like going to your first con?
Oh yeah, certainly a lot of nervousness was involved with that. I'm kind of an antisocial person in general, but at the same time, my love of the fandom and wanting to meet people and go to panels and, being not just like an online presence, but actually in person be a part of the fandom. That's just the coolest thing ever. Everyone should try to experience at some point. But of course, it was very nerve-wracking. But I'm thankful to have gone with a friend, and it was just we just hung out. It was BronyCon 2012, and there were a few exciting moments here, like when the con caught on fire and the likes of that. But overall, very good experience, and obviously, I liked it enough to go again because I believe I'm up to 5 BronyCons plus a PhillyCon.
Nice. How many cons have you gone to?
That would be 6 total. Although I only went to PhillyCon for a day. I don't know if that counts or not.
What other ones did you go to?
That's it. 5 BronyCons and PhillyCon.
Oh, so BronyCon is just your go-to con?
Yeah, I'm not able to fly across the country to any other cons, and BronyCon is a big one that's enough to justify the travel, but close enough where we can actually drive there. I usually go with my dad. I like to say my dad's been to more BronyCons than most bronies.
Oh, okay. So, has there been an experience that was like a good con experience that you can recall?
Oh, it's just too many to recall. I do my best to condense all the best con experiences in my vlogs, because even I can't recall all the best experiences. In general, it's just meeting friends, hanging out. We spend most of our time waiting in lines, really. So it's really that aspect of meeting new people while waiting in lines, I guess, consumes the most time at my conventions. But of course, going to panels and trying out game demos and vendor hall buying stuff. There's just a whole bunch of general fun things to do, and then of course the more specific things I can't even recall. There's just too many. But yeah, I would recommend that you or any other viewers of this video would check out my vlogs if you're really interested in that sort of thing.
Nice. I was gonna say I did watch yours because I did meet a bunch of you, and I did hand out business cards, and I was like, am I in any of those videos? And I saw yours, and I'm like, yes, they got the point. They got the part where they put a bunch of hats.
Yep, I got your business card right here, actually. I saved it.
That's pretty good. So are there any local hangouts or meetups that you do with other bronies, or is it just normal people?
Unfortunately, I'm right in the middle of well, as far as brony meetups go, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's a couple hours north, a couple hours south, but nowhere around here.
So you just hang out with friends and...
Yep, a few friends, a lot of friends online, mostly in the fandom at least.
All right. How about movies? Do you have any particular favorites, any genres, or favorite actors?
I'm not like a movie buff, but I would go with the easy answers. I love Christopher Nolan, pretty much anything he makes.
All right. So are there any other bronies that you particularly like?
Yeah, of course. There's a ton of great people in the fandom. The obvious ones, people like Race Best and Saber are easy answers, and then there's some lesser-known YouTube channels that just upload occasionally that got some really amazing content, deserve more recognition. But I don't even know if I could name any off the top of my head. But there's just so many people out there.
Do you have any like a favorite non-pony YouTube?
Yeah, again, not really. I actually have two YouTube channels. I have the LittleshyFIM, where I subscribe to only pony channels and make only pony videos. Then I have a personal channel where I just subscribe to general YouTube stuff. And the fandom is really the only place where I subscribe to people where it feels more personal. Like I actually have a chance of meeting that content creator at a convention or talking to them online or something. So as far as like being a big fan of someone, I don't really think that applies outside of the fandom to me for some reason.
All right. Let's see.
I hope I'm not going through your questions too fast. Feel free to slow me down.
That's fine. Let's see. Well, how do you feel about the Equestria Girls as a series as opposed to ponies? Do you think it's a little? Do you think it's okay, or is it a little different?
I like to pretend it's completely separate from the show, which is kind of true, but also kind of not true. I know there's a lot of fans for it, and I wouldn't want to like rain on anyone's parade or ruin anyone's fun, but I'm just not a fan of Equestria Girls. It feels very contrived, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Does that explain? That answer your question?
Yeah.
I just don't have much to say about it. I don't. In my videos, I portray a kind of a character who hates Equestria Girls and is super nitpicky, and I'll talk crap about Equestria Girls a lot in my videos. The truth is, I don't hate it like that. I just don't care about it, but in the best possible way that I don't care about it.
All right. How about music? Do you like a lot of pony music, or do you just like normal music?
Yeah, pony music is kind of all I listen to. I'm not a big music person in general, but whenever I'm editing a video or working on something along those lines, it's good to listen to music. And yeah, a lot of good artists in the fandom. Obvious examples like Wooden Toaster and Twitch, and Archie. Archie's probably my favorite. Yeah, there's a bunch.
Do you have a favorite song?
No, I don't think I do have a favorite song. Generally, it's like EDM. I know that's very broad, but yeah, it's just EDM is my favorite genre, as broad as that is.
Okay. Well, you mentioned your entire room is filled with pony merch. How did all that start?
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes I'll post an image to Twitter, or more recently, actually, on an Amino app, and people are saying like, "Oh, you have so much stuff. You could have you could have saved that money and used it on yourself, or given it to charity or something." The thing is, when you've been in the fandom as long as I have, having a large collection isn't actually that impressive if you're only spending $5 to $10 every few months on something. Over the course of years, you can accumulate quite a big collection. So, I'm proud of my collection and all. I'm just saying, it's funny how like people think, oh, that's a little bit over the top, don't you think? But the answer to that is I didn't go out in one day and buy all my pony stuff. It just sort of happened slowly over time. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, I don't have as much stuff as I would like, but it's slowly getting there.
Yeah. Why, how much stuff do you have?
I've got I got a bunch of those collectible figurines, a bunch of props, the DVDs, CDs, books, T-shirts, bunch of
Yeah, that's quite sizable.
There.
That's a pretty average brony collection, maybe even above average.
I've got at least 4 plushies.
Oh, what kind of plushies?
I've got a Flufflepuff, a Snowdrop, a Fluttershy, and an Applejack.
Nice. Are those last two 4DE plushies by any chance, or are the Chinese knockoffs? I'm just curious.
I think the Fluttershy is a Chinese knockoff.
Hey, but they're actually surprisingly good. They're a lot better than some of the Hasbro plushies.
Yeah. Other questions. I'm just kind of.
I wish I could help you out, but I'm at a loss. All I can do is answer questions.
That's fine. Let's see. Have you ever had a chance to watch some of the really really old Pony videos, like the very first like My Little Pony thing?
Like previous generations?
Yeah.
A little bit, kind of as a joke. I watched a few with friends. I think we watched a movie or two. I do remember a long time ago, like a relative's house actually, because we didn't have cable. A Pony episode came on. I think it was Minty Christmas or something. I was watching with my sister, thinking, "This is silly. Why can't we change the channel? Let's not watch My Little Pony. This is stupid." And of course, I don't know. That must have been years ago, 5 or so years probably later. Of course, here I am in the fandom. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Now I'm wondering. I would love to see you do the very first one. Was it Rescue from Midnight Castle, Cinema Sins?
I suppose it's not out of the question. I don't really know why I haven't done that already. It would be difficult, I guess. I wouldn't really know any of the characters, or it would be harder to call out plot convenience and problems like that, because I just don't watch the previous generations enough to know where the problems are, I guess. So I feel like by sticking to Generation 4 and the episodes more specifically, I like to think I'm talking about something I know about. Some people might disagree, though.
Let's see. Anything else in the... How about fan fictions? Do you get a chance to read any of them?
I think the only one I've really completed and thoroughly enjoyed was Fallout Equestria. I see your background in your live stream actually includes some of that. But aside from that, no, I don't really read fan fiction. In fact, I listen to that one on audiobook because I'm too lazy to read.
I actually haven't had a chance to read it. I kind of just like I don't. It's like really really huge. And like how many like volumes are there? Because I know there's like 4 at least.
I don't even remember how many volumes, but I think the audiobook was something like 60 plus hours.
Damn. Well, I know they're doing a radio play of it, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. I might have to re-listen to it because of that. I think they're about 2 episodes in right now. Is that true? I think
they're at their 4th or 5th. I don't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should probably go back and listen to that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Fallout Equestria's props. I got like a
But you haven't finished the fan fiction?
No, I haven't. I haven't even started it yet.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of reading.
It sure is. But so you don't know how it ends?
No, I don't.
I mean, the ending
There's like
is like
so
the
many
best
questions.
Part. I won't spoil it for you then.
All right.
It's probably one of the few forms of fiction, including television, movies, all types of fiction that, I enjoyed from the beginning to end. Even the ending was good. Usually if a piece of fiction starts out good, it ends not so great, even poorly. And if it ends great, it doesn't begin that great. But no, I thought Fallout Equestria was great beginning to end.
I'll definitely have to read it at some point.
I don't know if I'm qualified to give not criticism, but my own review of that, because again, I don't read fan fiction, so maybe it's terrible compared to some. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Again, I wish I'm guessing you're trying to come up with a question or something. Yeah, I wish I could help you, but I'm just as speechless as you.
Do you have a favorite voice actor?
I don't know. It's hard to pick. I like the multiple talents one, like Andrea Libman and Ashley Ball. I think it's cool how they do 2 characters and they do it so well. But of course, Tabitha St. Germain. She has such a wide range and silliness to her that really, I guess all of the main 6 I love as voice actors. And even other characters, too. I can't pick a favorite, I guess is the simple answer.
All right. Now, are you up to date with like all the episodes? Because I know there's an episode coming out tomorrow.
Yes, I'm definitely up to date. I think I hinted at earlier. I try to see every episode live ever since, like 2012, since I joined. That's been fun. I usually join and watch it with friends, and then we review it after. remember early on in the fandom, I joined some chat rooms before I had my own, group of friends to talk to. But yeah, I mean, making the show like a weekly event has always been a big part of me, for a big part of my part in the fandom. That's always tons of fun. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow's episode.
I don't think I saw any spoilers, so I have no idea what it's going to be about. So I guess I'll have to watch and find out.
You're pretty lucky. It actually leaked. Did you know about that?
I did not hear about that.
Tomorrow's episode came out days ago. The problem is, the catch is, it didn't come out in English. It came out in Polish. Of course, that's all. Probably not something we should talk about, because by the time people see this interview, it'll be long gone. But
yeah. So, are you involved in any other fandoms besides ponies?
Not really. I feel like I joined the Gravity Falls fandom as the last episode aired, because that was the only episode I saw live with a community chat room. And as soon as the show ended, I'm like, oh, why couldn't I have been part of this earlier? I feel like I missed this. So because of that, I'll probably keep an eye out for future fandoms I want to be a part of. But right now, it's just My Little Pony.
How about Doctor Who?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed Doctor Who, during mostly David Tennant, but recently I haven't been watching the show at all, unfortunately.
That's all right.
Are you going to be editing out these moments of silence? Or?
No, I'm going to leave them there. It's just, I thought I'd have more questions, but...
I know, and I apologize if it's partly my fault. I'm not, I don't do this sort of thing often.
No, that's okay. There's always a first time for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a few, but, yeah.
Any other question? Oof. This is tough.
Well, I mean, are you trying to reach a certain length or something? I don't know.
I'm trying to stretch it out as much as possible, because...
All right. Maybe I can think of something then.
Okay, yeah, you can ask.
How about I'll interview you? How about you? What's your favorite pony?
My favorite pony is Applejack.
Good choice. I'm like worse than you at that, so maybe we'll just pass the microphone back to you.
Okay. All right. Conventions.
So, how many BronyCons have you been to? I know, obviously, I met you at one.
I think my first one was 2013.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, you've been a couple years, or 3 years, 4 years? I can't count.
If you're counting 2013, I think it's 4 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I also went to PonyCon in Brooklyn beginning of this year.
Oh, yeah. I heard that's in New Jersey now. I might be going to that one. I'm not sure yet, though.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I hope to go. If I go, it'll probably just be for a day like PhillyCon was.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the few cons that's actually close enough for me to go by car.
I'll have to consort with my meetup group, because I know they do room shares, and I don't know how I'm going to get there. I'm probably going to take the bus with most of them. I don't feel like driving all the way to New Jersey. I unfortunately live in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But, yeah, believe it or not, I believe I first joined this fandom probably in late 2012, if I recall correctly. It was definitely right before Season 3, but it just happened. I believe I was like talking with a friend, and I mentioned like he liked pony videos on his YouTube channel, and I just kind of made like a funny joke and laugh, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this and see what the fuss is about. So I went on YouTube and watched the first episode, and then the next episode, and then I kept watching all the way to the Season 2 finale, and I'm like, oh, I'm a brony now.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of have a similar story. I mean, at the very beginning when I discovered the show, I mean, there's something so different about it. Like, I never really thought to enjoy a cartoon like this. I mean, before that point, I guess it was the typical mindset, oh, cartoons are for little kids, and there's no redeeming quality at all. But seeing the show, as fun, as entertaining as it is, There was a point where I too couldn't stop watching it. I started with season 1 and I like binged all the way through season 1 and beginning of season 2. And it's kind of fun. I did so under the cover of darkness. I had to watch it at night so no one would know I was watching it. That sort of thing.
Mm. Yeah. Because, I mean, at first, when I first heard about it, I'm like, why on earth would a bunch of grown men watch ponies? And I went to, like, a Japanese anime convention, and people were wearing pony shirts, and I'm like, stay away from me. But...
Yeah, it's certainly one of those things that seems weird at first. But, I mean, firsthand, obviously, we can both say it's more to it than just weird people.
Yeah, it's just the show. The show is just really well animated. It's got really interesting characters. They have depth.
Yeah, I think that it's surprisingly, I think the hook that gets people interested is how it's better than you would expect.
Yeah.
So actually, I kind of wonder if after all these years of the fandom hyping up the show and pushing it in people's faces, hey, you got to watch this. It's better than you might think. I wonder if maybe people are hyping it up too big. You think? That's something I've been wondering for a while. Is if the bigger the fandom gets and the more we say the show is good, maybe it can't live up to its own hype. That's something that doesn't really affect me personally, but I wonder if newcomers to the fandom can see it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of been wondering that myself, because, as the show it keeps going, maybe it's like, and we say it's all awesome, maybe it's losing its luster at some point.
Yeah, is it really, or does it just appear that way because we're hyping it so much?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
I mean, I really didn't think the show was going to I didn't realize the show was going to be going on for this long.
No, I remember mid-season 2, wasn't sure if we were going to get into 3, and then, of course, and we all know what happened at the end of 3. We all thought that was the end, and it seems like every season we kind of wonder.
Yeah.
And I wonder how do we stand now? Do you know anything about season 7? Are we even getting one?
I went on the Wikipedia page, and it was hinted, but we're not of like a new voice actor, but we're not sure if that was for the movie or for the show. Yeah, I think I saw that one too. That's all we have to go on right now, I guess. Of course, this is a dated conversation. People might watch this in the future and think, "Oh no, I'm enjoying season 10 right now." Oh, good. What's gonna really surprise me is the point when the show does end. How what is initially gonna happen to the fandom? Is it gonna collapse? Is it gonna die out very slowly?
Yeah, I view it almost as a social experiment. I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I don't think, personally, I'd be going really anywhere. As far as videos are concerned, I can keep making Cinema Sins for many, many years before catching up with this show.
I know.
And personal interest wouldn't really falter either, because, I mean, the characters are all the same. The show is enough episodes to be rewatchable, so I don't foresee it dying suddenly. I personally wouldn't even mind if some of the the less passionate fans kind of left the fandom and left it to us hardcore bronies. I wouldn't even mind that so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're just starting season 4 right now.
Yeah, so I got a long way to go. And of course, there's always fan works, and like you mentioned, previous generations. So I think my channel still has a lot of, time left to it, as long as I'm personally motivated, which I think I will be.
And the next Equestria Girls.
Oh, yes. Who knows how many of those we'll get.
Yeah. I'm surprised that hasn't become like a spin-off show at this point.
Yeah, I thought I heard rumors about it becoming one, but that was a while ago, so I guess they weren't true. I mean, the movies themselves are all almost like a spin-off show.
Yeah. Now, did you like Fallout Equestria because you played Fallout?
It was actually reversed for me. I heard of Fallout Equestria and started listening to that audiobook long before I played any Fallout game. And it was kind of fun to go back and play Fallout, New Vegas and Fallout 3 at the time, and actually catch the references from the fan fiction in the game. I experienced it in reverse, which it was surprisingly enjoyable that way. You wouldn't think it would work in reverse. But, and then, of course, I became a fan of the Fallout games as well.
Yeah.
But it's funny how it started with Fallout Equestria for me.
Nice. Oh, another interesting thing that I would love to see. I don't know if it would be a cinema sins, but would you ever do the documentaries?
Documentaries? What? Oh, you mean the Brony documentaries?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. That could work. I'd have to take a close look at it to know for sure. Yeah, it's possible, I guess.
What did you think of the first one that John Delancey made?
Oh wow, yeah, I haven't seen it recently, so I probably can't give too much insight into it. But it was kind of fun because I was actually there. I think I caught myself in the documentary 2 or 3 times, I think, and my name's actually in the credits. I was a $10 backer, so I definitely, I mean that documentary was very special to me. But at the same time, I think I shared a lot of people's disappointment in that it, went over budget and it kind of was a little overblown. I would have preferred a simpler documentary, which is, of course, what A Brony Tale kind of was. So I like that one a lot more, personally.
Nice.
Yeah, that's another example of maybe hype killed the first documentary.
Yeah. I wish I could have been a part of that, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't join in until like late 2012, and by then the doc was already in production or was about to be released, and I was like, oh, why didn't I back this?
Yeah. I remember a long time ago, before BronyCon 2012, I saw on Equestria Daily they were advertising BronyCon. I thought, that was just when I told my parents that I was part of this weird cartoon fandom thing. And I pointed to it and I said, they even have a convention. Wouldn't it be funny if we went to that? And then, of course, sure enough, I went to BronyCon 2012. But, like, it just goes to show how early on in the fandom, I wish I could go back there and see what I thought of the fandom then. And, I mean, it's just been such a major part of my life and a major part of so many other people's lives that it's, I don't know, it's very sentimental.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I wish I could go back and actually be there when it like first started.
Well, I don't know if you want to go back too far. It probably wasn't the most pleasant thing on 4chan.
It seemed like everybody was like awesome. Like everybody was like friends. Because everybody's talking about like the good old days, like back in season 1 started, and like everybody like started out doing pony stuff, and everybody having a good time.
Yeah, I think it was around 2012 was like some people, maybe even myself, I'm not sure, but it was kind of the golden age, as some people refer to it as. That was the first big push where a lot of new members joined the fandom, and it kind of became a subculture online and took over a bunch of social media. And I think, it still stands to this day that we kind of took over a lot of social media.
Yeah.
I still think it's funny how it's called the Wasteland Radio. You have pictures of Little Pip there, and you haven't completed Fallout Equestria yet.
I needed something in the picture to fill up the gap. I didn't want to just have my character be there all alone. I mean, it would be nice, but
yeah. So yeah, you definitely got to work on that, because I'm not even a fan fiction guy, and even if I think Fallout Equestria was good, it's definitely something worth looking at then.
Yeah.
Especially with that radio play or whatever it's called. I got to go back now and listen to that.
I did like how they're making the game, like an actual like Fallout Equestria game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was another thing that was fun to see at BronyCon.
They keep working on it, and it's really interesting the way it comes out every year. The improvements that they make every year.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to tackle an open world experience. It's definitely going to be difficult in Unity, probably. I mean, even Fallout 4 hasn't really done it quite that well. With its glitches and problems. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they do it.
Constant freeze ups.
Yeah, and the ugly skyboxes and like two polygon buildings in the distance.
I was going to ask you about Fallout 4, but I have a feeling you haven't played that in a while.
Well, I mean, there was that recent DLC. I played through the gauntlet of the DLC, and that's it. I should get back to that, but haven't had a chance yet. But yeah, I definitely like it, Fallout 4. I guess it's my favorite Fallout now, just because it has more of a polish. It's a newer game and all.
Do you like fiddle around with any of the mods?
Not really. No. I think I tried like one mod from the built-in mod browser, and that was the I forget what it's called. I want to call it a minigun, but it shot nukes instead of bullets. Yeah, that was the only mod I actually tried and had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, I was browsing around some of them, and they actually put in a few Fallout Equestria stuff, and I was like, yes!
Oh, okay, I might have to go back and look for them now. Because when I checked out that mod, it was early on. I don't think that existed yet. But if there's Fallout Equestria stuff for Fallout 4, yeah, that might bring some life back to it for me.
I'm hoping at one point maybe they'll add like a pony companion. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah, as a mod, I wouldn't be surprised if it exists already as a mod.
Awesome.
I remember Skyrim had pony companions.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny. Okay. Let me review my notes real quick. I think I asked everything I did because normally if I ask all the questions, I would have a Twitter Q&A, but unfortunately there's legit no one in my chat room right now. I think there's like one person. Let's see. All right, I think I missed a couple. All right, so are there any words of wisdom you would give to people who are starting out like a channel or a project or anything like that?
Yeah, it really all depends on what you're trying to get out of it. I mean, if it's just for fun or for experience, then really it's just do whatever is most fun. And if you're like me, you'll just kind of get lucky and find something that's both fun to create and also something enjoyable by others to build a kind of an audience there. But I mean, that's really the only advice I can give because that was my own experience. Is just have fun with it.
All right. And all right, last question. Do you have any future projects that you'd like to share?
There is one that's very early, very, very early in production. I'm not even sure if it'll be done, but I suppose I can share it. This will be kind of a premiere for your podcast, I guess. Who here? I mean, not who here, but you. Have you heard of Bill Wirt's History of Japan? It's kind of a viral video.
I don't think I have.
If you're able to, just look it up and watch like the first 2 seconds and see if you recognize it. But anyway, it's like a very comedic and long-form video explaining the entire history of Japan, and it uses musical cues and notes in a comedic manner and tells jokes, and it's very deadpan and dry humor, which I think is super fitting for me. And I plan to do a history of Equestria in similar fashion.
Nice.
So basically, it'll just be me explaining the history of Equestria from before season 1, based on, of course, later seasons' information, and then just throwing jokes and just generally being silly.
Their mom abandoned them when they were children.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's always a new Sins video. I'm currently on a schedule to put one out at the first of every month. I've only done that like once or twice so far, so it's still a new schedule to me. But I think I'm on track to meet the next deadline.
All right, awesome. Are there any questions that you can remember off the top of your head that people keep asking you?
No, you actually did a good job of covering them. I think the most common is where'd your name come from, and any advice. Those are the two most common.
Oh, all right.
I'll let you know if I can think of anything.
Okay. If there's anything you want to ask me, this can work both ways.
Not at the moment. I mean, have you been doing these podcasts often?
I just started like the end of last month. I think yeah, it was the end of July, and I basically reviewed all the people I gave out cards to, like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? And I think Race was the first one that said yes, but he was on a schedule and he could only do it like on a specific day, so I did it on a Monday, but it wasn't live. I just kind of recorded it and then just uploaded it.
Yeah, I think I browsed, gave your channel a quick glance, and I noticed Race, and I think was Animated James one, and was Jack's Blade one? Were those the three you did so far?
Yep, Jack's Blade and Animated James.
All pretty cool people.
Yep. Still got a bunch more to do.
Yeah, well, best of luck with that. Hopefully you find all the people you're looking for.
I hope so too. I think I think we'll end it here.
All right.
I would like to extend a sincere something. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And hope to see you at any in future conventions. Maybe a BronyCon.
Yep, almost definitely BronyCon and maybe PonyCon.
Yep. Well, I hope you have the rest. Hope a good rest of the evening.
Yeah, you as well.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.